All right, and we are back here on Get Up. And here's the way this thing works, okay? As Shefty is with us as well this morning. A lot of people sort of view the NBA season as though it begins on Christmas. So now it has begun. For those of you who've not been paying attention, Jay Williams has put together some sneaky big news, things that you may have missed as this season has gotten underway. And I have been not allowed to know what it is. So Jay Will has kept this a secret.
Took you off the email chain last
Even
night.
from me. He did. He removed me from the email chain, which we'll talk about later. But anyway, with that said, Jay Will, the floor is yours.
All right. Get your reaction to some of these? Okay. Number one, the not-so-mellow crash and burn is over for the Rockets. But like a phoenix, this team is rising from the ashes. Look, the Rockets lead the NBA in offensive efficiency since Melo's last game. Before that, they ranked 25th. By the way, they're doing it without CP3, and James Harden is playing MVP caliber.
Well, it's tough. I don't want to put any of the blame on Carmelo Anthony. I think they were struggling with chemistry early on, and now they've figured it out.
And James Harden, I mean, he's been incredible. Last 8 games, averaging 39 points per game, doing this without CP3. And look, I don't have him in the MVP conversation as of right now, but in about a month, he'll be top 3, and there's a chance he could finish back-to-back MVP.
Oh, he's definitely in the conversation right now. This guy is leading the NBA in total points, total free throws, and total 3 points made.
All right, here we go. The Pacers are the most underrated team in the NBA.
Agreed.
And everyone won the Paul George trade. This team is 3rd in the East. You heard me correctly, 3rd in the East. The Pacers rank in top 5 of field goal percentage, offense, and defense. And by the way, Victor Oladipo is the unsung hero for this team. And Domantas Sabonis leads them in rebounds, gives them that strength in the paint.
I love that call. DJ, how dangerous are they to the big boys in the East?
They're very dangerous. And one thing that I like being a coach is that they're taking on the demeanor and the personality of Nate McMillan.
And by the way, I love Paul George, but this team now has no ego. Now, it's a blue-collar-like mentality, which very suits Indiana basketball. I love that for them.
All right, I'm with you. I like that one.
Next up,
what's next?
Mike Budenholzer is the front-runner for Coach of the Year in the NBA, and he deserves to get more credit. This team, look, the Bucks are in 2nd place in the East, on pace to win 50 games. Last year, they won 44. We all saw the way they took the Celtics to 7 games in the first round of the playoffs. But this team ranked 2nd in the NBA in 3-point makes, whereas last year they ranked 27th.
Yes.
They're surrounding Giannis with shooters, and that's the right strategic play for them.
It's fascinating. We thought that the West was all the good teams and the East was all the JV, and now how dangerous are the Bucks?
The Bucks are very dangerous, and if they can get Giannis to a point to where he's hitting mid-range jump shots and he can take his space out to the 3-point line, he doesn't have to make a lot of them, but if he could get that space, I think Bledsoe and those guys are doing some great things in the paint.
And I don't care what Ryan Hollins says. Giannis is the front runner for the MVP right now. We'll talk about that later. Here we go. Number 4. Kemba Walker is an all-star starter, but won't get it because of no national recognition. By the way, this team, they're 16-17. They're in 7th place in the East right now, and he is the most clutch player in the NBA. They only have 2 games on national TV. When Tony Parker goes back to pay the San Antonio Spurs, and then the last game of the regular season versus Orlando, he won't get the attention because we all know all-star starters are voted in by the fans.
Well, I hope he does get in as a starter because the game is in Charlotte, and I think it'll be good for that franchise as well as that fan base to see Kemba Walker right there.
I agree. I think he is extraordinarily underappreciated. You'll find out how much everyone thinks of him when he becomes a free agent. If he becomes a free agent, teams will be killing themselves to get him. Next.
And the last one was, when was Denver the team to beat in the Western Conference?
Yeah.
I mean, the last time this team was relevant was maybe over a decade ago.
Dan Issel.
Yeah, way far back there.
Melo,
2009
okay,
maybe.
Fair enough.
and Kenyon Martin.
Nuggets are in line for a top 2 seed for the first time in 10 years and their 4th time in franchise history. And it's about time we talk about it. I mean, Nikola Jokic is in the conversation for MVP. I know he had 4 points last night against the San Antonio Spurs. He only had 5 shots, but the numbers he's putting up are ridiculous. And he is the most new progressive center we have in the game.
He has some of those games, though.
He does.
And I know you could say Greg Popovich double-teamed them all you want, but MVPs don't vanish taking 4 shots in one game. There's a lot of spare parts there in Denver. Malik Beasley, Torrey Craig, Juan Hernan-Gomez.
Who are you?
A lot of players. Okay, doing a lot of
I love it.
Monte Morris, Jamal Murray, a lot of guys in Denver.
And they have a lot of guys out, too. So imagine when they get Will Barton back, when they get
Gary Harris
back, Isaiah Thomas back, when they get Paul Millsap back.
Yes.
I mean, that's how scary it is. They're number 1 in the West without all these guys playing.
My thing about Denver is, can they can they continue to play defense at the level that they're playing it? Because that's not their.
We're talking about right now, Damon.
Yeah,
Right
well,
now.
I'm just saying. I'm
right
looking
now.
as a coach. I'm looking forward.
They have been a stunningly good team. All right, that's sneaky big news from Jay Will. I love it.